Good evening, traders. How you doing? Welcome to Money Mitch. Yes, you made it, and I'm back. The suits did not take me down. I'm back today, guys. So good evening, my Zinger Nation. If you guys want to find me, you guys can always find me on Twitter, Story Investors. And for our TikTok and short clip fans, definitely check out Benzinga clips if you want those short kind of content. And also definitely one of the things that you can find on Benzinga's content is you'll be able to find that next good potential stock trading ideas. So check out our other content. So like always, guys, you guys know I'm Money Mitch, and I'm here to teach you guys story stocks. And like always, the bull market is here to stay, guys, and it's not looking back. And there's always an opportunity out there, and I, Money Mitch, is here to help you find it. So on today's show, Money Mitch, we're going to be going into some notable earnings. I know you probably saw some come out after the close. We're going to be going into my first NFT sale and how you guys could be doing this strategy also. I just made back more than 1,500%. So you guys stick around to find out that strategy. And then we'll be going into the story that is MindMed. And then, of course, guys, some cannabis stocks and some stocks that investors should be high on. So definitely stick around, guys. And then I'll give you guys a little bonus. Yesterday, we missed out on the story stocks. So today, I'm going to give you 2 story stocks in programmatic and streaming platforms. And that's going to be it for Money Mitch. Welcome to it, guys. Play that intro. All right. Welcome, Money Squad. Welcome to Money Mitch. Today, we're going to be going into the overall market. Let me go ahead and set this up right here. Looks like I was a little slow in the transition there. Was watching too much, guys. All right, guys. So there you go. I got it pulled up there. You could put the shared screen up there. There you go. You guys can see me. We're going to go ahead and talk about the market, right? And so one of the things that I noticed, guys, is that the S&P closed flat, guys, and the Federal Reserve left interest rates unchanged. Wouldn't you guess it? Pumping Powell, just not really pumping, though. I thought he would maybe get us above this 420 mark, but it looks like we're fighting the breakout there. But really what they hinted is that they would keep easy monetary policy where it is. And sometime, despite a strengthening economy and raising inflation, they're going to keep those interest rates right where they are. You know, the Fed wraps up a 2-day policy meeting on Wednesday where the central bank left them the rates near zero. And really that's the major effect that we've seen out of the Feds. And, you know, Powell acknowledged that some of the asset prices may be high where the central bank left rates, you know, at that zero, and that there is some frothiness in the equity markets. So he's noticing, I mean, hey, the prices are a little bit frothy there, but they still think that they're going to stick to what they're doing, and they're still holding rates low, and that inflation is holding and not going to, let's say, hyperinflation. So that's definitely the talk that was out there. Tonight, guys, President Joe Biden is set to unveil later today a $1.8 trillion plan of new spending and tax credits geared towards helping families. The Biden administration's new spending plan would hike the top income tax rate to 39.6 for the wealthiest American and raise taxes on capital gains to 39.6 for households making more than $1 million. And so definitely, guys, that's going to affect the wealthiest because, you know, the wealthiest hide their money where? In the market, guys, in the market. And so that's why that came out, and that definitely is affecting the sentiment. Is it going to affect the sentiment so much that you're going to see a big market crash? I don't expect it, guys. I actually expect a market melt up, baby. Melt up. I'm expecting us to get out of this trend. I've talked about it. Let's get another move like we saw early in May of 2020, where it really started ripping up let's get that push up. Let's get up through those 430s, get on up there and start pushing out on the breakout of the S&P. The question I have for you guys, and I think the question you guys need to ask, is tech back? That's really the question here, guys, because I think that's what really leads us to the next levels, is that we need tech to be back to really push us through that level. Because really, when we started getting this kind of pullback and kind of in between session time is when tech really pulled back. And if you look at the Qs, you're going to see that they're back. And I think that's what really drives the overall market when we get those tech stocks to really start leading us again, like let's say our major fangs. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about Apple a little bit later today, but that's what we need to look for. And I think that's what we need to keep an eye out for. So when I return, we're going to be talking about the top earnings of today. And then also we're going to be looking at who were the winners, who were the losers, and what's up next for next week. So stay tuned, guys, on Money Mitch. We'll be back with some earnings.
I tell all my CEOs, this is a very, very, very important platform. And look, all the other platforms are important too, but you're up there now. You're way up there.
Best investments you can do in your future is actually go and re-educate yourself on credible sites and credible resources like Benzinga. I think you guys have been killing it.
The comment section on this show is remarkable. Like the quality of the combo, and just big shout out to you and your community.
That's what I love about you guys. You just had all your callers in right then. And it's all about the community here at Benzinga.
And we're back, guys. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of the top earnings. And before I do that, I want to catch up with the chat. So I'm seeing a lot of people giving me the thumbs up. That's what I like to see. Give me those thumbs up. Support me as I support you guys. And I definitely will give you guys the NFT strategy later today. I know you guys want to hear a strategy that can make you guys, 10x your money. So if you want to stick around and hear that strategy, I think it isn't going away either. It's not like it was just this one time. I think the strategy will repeat. So stick around, guys. And to do that, I'm going to go ahead and set a like goal right now. We have over 100 people watching. So let's go ahead and let's set it right now at that 75 likes. Let's get those up there. So smash the like button if you want to see that NFT strategy. But let's get into the earnings and what we're here for today, right? And so let's go ahead and let's talk a little bit about these major earnings. So this morning we got Shopify. Shopify was an interesting report here because one of the things that I've noticed is in the pandemic, we went extreme with e-commerce. And Shopify actually posted revenues of $988.6 million, which was up a whopping 110% compared with a year prior, and trounced and really kicked ass on the estimates. The estimates were only 862 million. So you're talking about right there over 100 million there off of the estimate. So keep your eyes out, guys. Shopify definitely kicking ass in their earnings. And Six Flags, not mentioning too much bad news there. A couple of their Six Flags will be reopening. So definitely keep your eyes out to see if we get a Six Flags run. I think you might be a little late to the boat on that one, but just keep your eyes out on it. Let's see what happens. So, of course, after the close, we had some big boys, right? And so let's get into some of the big boys here. First things first, of course, Apple. Apple stock rose over 4% in extended trading. And really, Apple reported double-digit growth in every single of its product categories, guys. This is extremely important. This is actually the second quarter that they actually am able to create that double-digit growth. And so most importantly, the product line, the iPhone, was up 65.5%, guys. And Apple said that it would increase its dividend by 7% to 0.22 cents per share and authorize a 90 with a B there in share buyback. So definitely, guys, if you think Apple is having that plus and bullish ride, give me a thumbs up and a 1 in the chat. I want to see if you guys believe in Apple in the chat. So let me know what you guys think. But of course, what are their numbers, right? So the EPS, $1.40 versus 99 cents estimated. The revenue here, 89.58 billion versus 77.36 billion estimate, up 53.7% year over year. The iPhone revenue at 4.79 billion versus 4.143 billion estimate, and up 65.5% year over year. If you look at the Mac revenue at 9.1 billion versus 6.86 here billion estimate, up 70% here year over year. And then one of my favorite numbers to look for, guys, in earnings is gross margins. And the gross margins were at 42.5% versus 39.8% estimated. So you can see on almost every single line, they just killed it. And Apple CEO Tim Cook said in a statement, this quarter reflects both the enduring ways of our products have helped our users meet this moment in their lives, and as well as the optimism consumers seem to feel about the better days ahead for all of us. And so definitely, guys, pay attention. We're going to go ahead and see what exactly Apple does from here, because I mean, you guys have been seeing the chart kind of go sideways for a little while now, and now after hours, it started ripping. So let's see if, we can get back towards all-time high of Apple. Mac sales were actually up 70%. And one of the drivers, I think, and, majority of people out there would say had to be that M1 chip that they put into their Mac laptops, and not using those Intel chips anymore, using their own chip. And definitely, you guys saw their double-digit growth by Apple and a kick-ass report there. So let's go ahead and let's keep moving on. Let's go to the next major name here. I would look at Facebook. Let's look at Facebook here. So Facebook beat on both earnings and revenue in Q1. Massive revenue growth to a 30% increase in average price per ad there, guys, as well as a 12% increase in the number of ads shown. And so their earnings were $3.30 per share versus a $2.30 per share forecast. Revenues were at 26.17 billion versus 23.67 billion expected. And the daily active users were at 1.8 billion versus 1.89 billion. Monthly active users were at 2.85 versus 2.86. And so pretty much the same. Here's where you can see a little bit of a difference there. The average revenue per user was at $9.27 versus an $8.40 forecast by FactSet. But once again, as you guys see in Facebook mentioning, very similar to what Google mentioned, guys, and they mentioned a similar trend in their ads, guys. As you can see, the massive growth in ads. And that's a lot of the reason why we're going to be talking a little bit later about programmatic advertisement and some of the stocks that are in that industry. But as you can see, this is a pattern, guys, that we've been seeing. If Google mentioned it, if Facebook mentioned it, let's see if we hear it from others. The ads are definitely making some good money right now. So it's not in linear TV anymore. So we're going to have to see how this programmatic advertisement game really takes off. But one of the things that Facebook is mentioning that we need to look out for in Facebook is, and it's funny because it actually has to do with Apple here, is the company is bracing for an ad targeting headwinds as the result of regulatory and platform challenges. Most notably, Apple here recently changed their privacy changes on iOS 14 that may make it more difficult for the company to go ahead and target those iPhone and iPad users. So this is going to be a change that will have an impact targeting in the second quarter. So this didn't show up here, but pay attention for it mentioned in the following quarter for Facebook. And let's see if they can still make that same revenue in their ad business. All right, let's keep going on. Let's go on to the next one I want to talk about is we did see a good report here from eBay. And then one of the things I'd mention is Grubhub, man. Grub, what's going on? We can't make money in the pandemic? How can you not make money in the pandemic? I mean, everyone is ordering out. What is going on, Grub? Grub, I don't know what needs to happen. If I need to get the CEO on here on Money Mitch, but something's going on with Grub. You guys let me know in the chat. What do you guys think about Grubhub? Because, I mean, the earnings were just not there, guys. Let's keep moving on. Let's go to Qualcomm. Qualcomm here, shares of the chip maker popped 5.4%. And, you know, and better than expected results from their second quarter. But Qualcomm reported earnings per share at $1.90 per revenue of 7.9 billion in revenues there. But really, it was estimated at $1.67 on revenue there per share. And so you're talking close to that 30% beat that we were talking about on yesterday's show. Yesterday's show, we talked about how there's been kind of this change in the earnings beats. Usually earning beats, you'll see maybe 8-9%, but recently we've been seeing as high as 30% on those beats. So here you guys are seeing another company beating estimates, but also, of course, mentions of global chip shortage. So definitely pay attention to that. And last but not least, guys, Ford here, not bad earnings. Ford logged an earnings per share of 89 cents on revenue of $33.55 billion there on revenue. The analyst poll here expected shares of 21 cents. And so you're seeing a massive beat there, guys. And so one of the things that the company did manage to do, though, they maintained their full year pre-tax profit guidance. Guidance is always one of the best things to pay attention to in an earnings call. And they did keep that earnings guidance going forward. And that's going to be definitely something to pay attention to. If they can meet their guidance, then maybe the chip shortage, they work through it. But they definitely did mention that they would have an adverse impact of about 2.5 billion due to the global chip shortage, guys. So definitely, as we saw some great earnings, and we're going to be paying attention tomorrow at the open. Caterpillar, McDonald's, Comcast. Oh my God, Comcast! You guys are still a monopoly out there with your internet. I can't even choose anything else. But hey, Comcast it is. Comcast, thanks yesterday for cutting me off. Appreciate it. No worries. But let's keep going. Let's look at Caterpillar for infrastructure talk. I'm going to be looking, of course, tomorrow after the close. Amazon, I expect another killer report. NIO, I know it's going to be on a lot of people's watch. A lot of people are looking at the EV game. So if you like NIO, let me know in the chat. But let's keep rolling through here. All right, catching up with the chat here. I'm seeing a lot of people. QCOM. You guys already know Hertz. I think, in the long run, they got 5G. 5G is definitely going to be a player, so watch for QCOM in the long run. NIO's charts do look decent. Dailies look good. I seen those double, triple bottoms approach there. You guys heard me talk about the Chinese stocks. If you didn't catch that show, you definitely got to look back on Money Mitch. I talked about all three of the Chinese EVs. So let's go ahead and let's get into the next part of our story today. We're going to go ahead and get into the story that is MindMed. And then if we get to the 75 likes, we'll go ahead and give that NFT strategy. Looks like right now we're at 50. We need a couple more, guys. So go ahead and smash that like, and let's run that next trailer.
When you want to maximize your performance in the market, you need access to the highest quality tools and news available. Benzinga Pro stands out from all of the options you'll be presented with, and their instant access to market-moving news positions you to be prepared to take on the market in the best ways possible. Here's how it works. Benzinga Pro's news desk creates original news content that's available on your main news feed and gives you actionable information about companies you may want to invest in. This news desk information gives you the chance to beat the market, receive impactful news as it breaks, and jump on trending stocks before and as they rise. And beyond that, Benzinga Pro is packed with helpful features and unique insights that give you the best information possible. There's tools like the Live Audio Squawk, which streams every day with important news and timely updates, and the real-time news alerts that allow you to stay on top of every developing story you're keeping tabs on. Alerts and news will be sent straight to your inbox or delivered as live sound alerts. For those investors that want real-time, actionable, and breaking news about companies they may be looking to invest in, Benzinga Pro is the tool to use.
All right, guys. All right. And we're back. We're back. We're going to be getting into the story that is MindMed. So definitely appreciate the love out there. Seeing a lot of love in the chat. What's the deal? When are we going to get to MNMD? You guys already know Think or Swim, TOS. If you guys want to know what I call Think or Swim, I'll say it. I call it the POS. The POS. You guys know what that stands for. I don't have to say it, but hey, it's not the platform I use. Let me just say that. I like to use platforms that work. So if you want to check out a platform that works, of course, check out Benzinga Pro. Couldn't say it more. If you guys need a coupon code, I give you that too. YouTube 20, guys. YouTube 20. Check it out, guys. All right, let's get into the story that is MindMed here. And so it started trading today on the NASDAQ under the new ticker symbol MNMD here, guys. It's a little bit confusing there, but really, MindMed has pioneered a new asset class of psychedelics here, an inspired medicine that is the latest advancements in biotech. And so, you know, the company's mission is to discover and develop and deploy psychedelic inspired medicines and therapies to address addiction and mental illness. According to CEO JR, you know, we actually had JR on a couple of our events, so I'm going to be pushing to get JR back. So if you guys can let him know in the chat, I will definitely send them out to him that you guys want to see JR on Money Mitch. Definitely. We're going to go ahead and send this out to him and try to get him on Money Mitch. But let's go ahead and continue here on what the story really is. And so one of the things that we definitely have to point out here, and I'll start going through here, is kind of JR. JR is definitely a great CEO. Reason why, guys, is that he even went to Mr. Wonderful himself, explained to Mr. Wonderful why it would be a great investment to go ahead and invest in MindMed. And he actually, I mean, hey, if he got Mr. Wonderful to give out some cash, the Shark Tank, the man himself, you already know he definitely had to do a good pitch there. But let's go ahead and let's move forward a little bit here. So one of the things that definitely MindMed is pioneered that new asset class. There's a lot of kind of target that they have. A couple different areas. There's 4.7 billion in global annual anxiety drug sales. There's 9.5 billion in global annual ADHD sales, 5.8 billion in anti-addiction sales, and 9.6 billion in global annual depression sales. And so there's a lot of target areas here that they can come after. One thing that to state is right off the bat, there's a 16 trillion opportunity here as mental health costs are expected to total 16 trillion through 2030. And so let's go ahead and let's keep mulling through here. Let's find out what exactly they're doing and what's really changing things up. And, you know, really one thing that I noticed, guys, is that, and they stated here, guys, that the current solutions are not working. And I know that you guys have probably heard about opioids. You know, for a second there, we were actually really focused on this. You know, the pandemic came and kind of changed this up. But if you guys noticed, I mean, this is not something I want to hear about, but an increase in overdose death involving prescription overloads from 1999 to 2018, 395% increase, guys. That's definitely not what we want to be hearing, guys. And then there's an increase of ADHD at 123%. And so right here, guys, this is the surprising one, and I'm pretty sure you guys are being surprised too, that LSD may be a safer alternative than benzoplanes. And so benzos are pretty much what you'd get in an average if you went to the doctor and you asked them for anxiety medicine and kind of addiction medicine. And really, I'm going to be focusing on seeing how they can transition Project Lucy. And we're going to be talking a little bit about Project Lucy at the bottom here. But if you see that the actual ER visits for these kind of substance are actually pretty low at a 0.3% of ER visits are within these substance. But if you see the lowest one, and it completely changes here. You can see cocaine there at 505,000 ER visits compared to an LSD at 4,819 visits, guys. So, hey, Project Lucy, they've been working on it. So let's keep going through there. So a new treatment paradigm. And so they're looking at LSD for microdosing of ADHD. And that would be, of course, non-hallucinogenic. And then they're also looking at some experimental therapies to actually have some of that hallucinogenic, a higher dose. But what this could be used for is for that therapy of anxiety and, let's say, PSD. I think this is actually something that could be really beneficial in time. I'm seeing out there, One Life, One Chance saying he drops acid every day. I can't blame him. If that's what he does, that's for him, but not for me. I can't tell you that. But what I can tell you is that MindMed might get this right, guys. They've been working hard on this, and it's impressive. One of the things that they've been doing is they've been collaborating with psychedelic researchers like this, like the University Hospital Basel Lachet lab that acquired more than 10 years of valuable research and data, and is probably known as the most valuable LSD data for drug development. And so you can see that they're teaming up with some major leaders. And one of the processes here is to really discover what new chemicals or entities and other psychedelics through strategic partnerships and collaborations, then develop them through the FDA, and then really push to deploy them. And so this is really what they're working on right now. Right now, they got 17 trials completed or ongoing, 3 commercial trials, and they're working their way and have that digital medicine platform as they go ahead and work their deploy strategies here, guys. Let's go ahead and keep moving down a little bit here. This is a good slide here. Let me go back here. Want to get to the timeline. Just give me 1 second. There you go. There you go. I woke up there. All right, let's get to the timeline here, guys. So LSD experimental therapy, anxiety, Project Lucy, guys. Project Lucy's just getting out of phase 2A, going into phase 2B. We're going to be definitely paying attention as that goes to phase 3. That's really when you start seeing if it's going to go through or not. Phase 1's usually if it kills you or not. So that's what I call the mouse trap. So one of the things that we could also see is that they've been working also on that LSD microdosing for adult ADHD. And that's also in the phase 2A. And of course, 18MC, which is opioid withdrawals. And they're working on that called Project Layla. And that's also in 2A. And so they're definitely working. You see these 3 pipelines is definitely something I would watch out for as they get to phase 3. All right, let's go ahead and keep going. And I seen out there, talks about, that there's been a lot of propaganda, with pharmaceuticals. And really, I think, we have to be right. We're going to actually start researching these, and you're going to find some clinical benefits that come out of these. And so as you see, they're talking about their LSD microdosing here. We can talk about the antibiotic of addiction. That's what they're trying to do with that 18MC. They're trying to figure out how the dopamine levels really work. If you guys know about opioids, then that has a lot to do with it has to do with the chemicals that are in the brain with dopamine and serotonin and how they work and how they hold and keep you down. So let's go ahead and keep moving through here. We're going to keep watching as they develop this program. Phase 3, they're saying in Q1 of 2024. So let's pay attention to that as we keep moving on. I've heard that this stuff is having positive effects on health issues. Kian, that's a good mention in the chat. I definitely do think that we're definitely seeing that. But of course, they're in early stages right now. So we got to keep a watch out on how these 4 ongoing chemicals really get expanded. One of the things that they've talked about is they've talked about these 4 major ones. So DMT, MDMA, psilocybin, and LSD. And for those that don't know this lovely word, that means that mushroom in the third one there. So we're going to keep an eye out on these. I know that you probably have heard about these, drugs before, but can they give us a health benefit? And that's really the story that MindMed is trying to get here. So one of the things that I'd say is what makes them special, right, guys? What makes them special is really this invaluable and protectable IP, guys. They're building an expansive patent portfolio, and the patents really is where the value is, guys. When you got those patents, it literally has a value to it. You can tie the asset value, and that's what matters here. So keep your eyes on that, and we'll keep watching as MindMed keeps moving forward. One of the things that you'll definitely see is how they could use LSD in different areas. And so one of the things is, let's say if a substance was the expected ability to abort the hallucinogenic effects of LSD within 20 to 30 minutes. And so one of the things they figured out is that they actually have a neutralizer so that it can actually stop the effects. Because one of the things that you're going to notice is that if you're going to cause these effects, you also want to know how you can also take these effects down and pull them back down. And so here you go, the LSD neutralizer they're working on also. Trying to move on here, trying to get through the presentation for you here. So the last thing I would say, and I want to talk about really, is kind of, of course, how LSD microdosing study here might actually come to teach us some new things here. And so one of the things that to understand is how they can actually combine LSD and digital to actually get an understanding on the effects of plasma levels, sleep measures, the quality of life, your mood, and cognitive performance. So definitely pay attention how this actually plays out. I think you really watch this. This is led by Dr. Kim, and she's actually one of the world's leading research in LSD. And this isn't the first thing that she's been doing, guys. So definitely keep an eye out on what happens on the next couple steps for the LSD. So one of the things that we definitely need to focus on is how we're moving into digital, right? And so one of the things that they're trying to do is move into the digital platform. And so they have a digital platform here, and it's a data-driven technology, integrated patient-centered engine for an efficient discovery, development, deployment of psychedelic-inspired medicines and digital companion treatments. So pretty much, hey, how much pain do you have right now? How much do you need? Questions like this, it would be answering. All right, guys. So one of the things that I would say is how are they going to affect and how could they get it out there right now, guys? And so the immediate uses are going to be, of course, the immediate impacts are going to be the clinical trials, disease diagnostic, remote patent monitoring, treatment matching and selection, relapse prevention, and adherence monitoring. And so one of the things that we need to focus on is how do we get this through kind of the pandemic time? As you guys see, telehealth visits were up 1,000% during COVID-19 pandemic. And I think telehealth is definitely here to stay, guys. So the real story here, guys, in MindMed is a story of finding new chemicals, testing them through that trial, getting that FDA approval, and they even get licenses to use Schedule I drugs from the FDA. And so that's what you got to keep an eye out. I think it's an impressive stock. JR has definitely not failed us, and I think he will not continue to keep breaking the barriers in the industry where you never ever have heard someone mention comments like we're going to go for LSD, we're going to look at DMT, we're going to look at psilocybin, we're going to look at LSD, we're going to look at all these to find the benefits for you guys out there. So definitely FDA is the key, Richard. I do agree. And hey, they know what they're doing. They're getting it passed. And it's really impressed me. You know, one of the things when I first started hearing about this, I was wondering, could this even get passed? And man, they've broken through all the walls and now trading on the NASDAQ, guys. That's MNMD, guys, and the story that is MindMed. So up next, guys, let's get into the NFT time. If you guys want to see the NFTs, I need 6 more likes. We're at 69. Let's get to 75, and I'll go ahead and talk about that NFT strategy when we return.
Get winning options trades from Benzinga's top option trading expert, Nick Shaheen.
I don't risk money I can't afford to lose. Clearly, conviction is medium, probably at best here, because I'm swinging. I don't have a particular trigger, so it's not like it's gambling. We did homework. We showed fundamental reasons, so it's not like betting. I hope it's red. I hope it's black.
If you're looking to uncover winning options trades, the Benzinga Options Starter newsletter provides you with 2 fully researched trades per month. Each comes with a detailed video, ideal price and expiration date, and profit loss charts to accelerate your learning. If you're ready for high conviction, learn while you earn and subscribe now to Benzinga's Starter Option newsletter.
All right, and I'm back, guys, and I forgot to show you guys the chart. The chart is so important. If we don't get into the chart, then what are you guys going to trade off of, right? I got to help you guys with the text. And so this morning, guys, this is off of a 5-minute chart, one of my favorite charts to use. Yes, I'll say it again, guys. 5-minute chart is my favorite chart to use. Why? Because I get a lot of the trends. And so one of the things that we can clearly see is on the 27th, you get that huge pop that went up to $8, right? And right at the open, they flushed it. They flushed it right out the gates, guys. And then it started doing this kind of bottoming effect. As you see around 10 o'clock, you got this changeover. It popped back up and then immediately went back down to another low. And so one of the things that I always look for is multiple lows, right? And so if you look at this little kind of 2 horizontal lines I drew from 417 to 479 here, you'll see that it went through that line 3 times. And that to me shows the triple bottom look. Now, one of the things that we want to see is now, can the top line in this little kind of channel be broken? So I would want to actually see this get above $5 with some big volume pop tomorrow to watch it, to see if it can go back up towards those 8s. I know that day traders are watching this stock. So if that's what you do, then go ahead and definitely stick to it. But watch this one as we continue moving through that $5 level. That's going to be the price point where I think you're going to find out that a lot of people got washed out at the open today. So that's where you're going to run into that overhead supply. You need a lot of volume to push through that 5. Look for a big seller to show up on the level 2 near that $5, and then watch how those shares flow through. I know John out there, beginner trading. I'll give him a shout out. Definitely. He does the same thing, and he knows exactly what I'm talking about. When you see those sellers stacked up on the level 2 on the ass side, you see that big order and you just see it flow right through. It'll just get bought up and push right through. So that's what I'm going to be watching for, if we can get a breakout through $5 on MindMed. But it looks like we got the likes, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here now and show you guys the NFT and how I actually made my money here. And so first things first, I think I got to show you guys how we can sell the card and how it actually works, the process, right? And so one of the things that we can take a look at, guys, and I'll put this full screen so I can explain fully here. All right, guys. So you guys are looking at here the Atomic Hub. And so the Atomic Hub is where you can go ahead and get the marketplace here to trade some NFTs, right? And so what do you do, guys? And so let's say like we went to this Danny Duffy card, right? And so one of the things that happened, guys, is that Topps did what's called a burn process. And so it really is kind of more what you call a card craft. And so if you have these cards, these commons, you can go ahead and burn them to craft up to one of these 1952 Redux packs. And so one of the things that I noticed was, man, I actually had some of these commons. And so what I did was, as soon as they came out, their value rose like crazy, like wildfire, guys. If you guys have ever seen a breakout, I'll show you guys the breakout here, guys. But let's go ahead and take a look at it and see how it really broke out. And so one of the things that you can do, guys, you always can go to the details to any card, right? And so you can always check kind of the value, right? And so if you scroll down, you'll be able to see the last sales. And so the last sales will show you where the card is really valuing at. See this, someone bought this card at 5 wax at $1.22, or a majority of the people were buying it at $2. And so let's go ahead and let me show you a little bit about my sales and how I was able to make a profit here. And so what I did, guys, is I attacked the first card that I saw part of the plan. And so the first one that I sold, I actually ended up selling a Nelson Cruz here for 487 wax, which turns out to be $118. So one of the things that happened here is, let me show you guys this spike. And you guys love charts, right? Look at this spike, guys. Look at this spike, guys. Look at this spike in the common. This common was worth, if you scroll back, about like maybe 20, 30 bucks, you know, and then it started spiking. It started spiking a couple times. And then really yesterday, it took off, guys. It took off like wildfire right there at around 5 o'clock. It started taking off, and different sales. You can see a sale all the way up to 703 wax. And this is the common, guys. This isn't something special, but you do see what? A fall off, right? And if you didn't sell yesterday, guess what? Today, there's someone selling it for $27. And so that's why you got to sell into the pop, guys. That's the strategy here. So the strategy is not necessarily to hold when these crafts come out. So what I want to do, guys, is when I get this craft to come out, I look to see if I have the common. I immediately put it up for the lowest bid. You look at the bid. If you see it at 489, you put 488, because I'll tell you the truth. A couple waxes is only going to be a couple of dollars. And I don't like to be greedy here. I want to get my return, because it's so important to get your return. If you're not getting your return, I mean, then what are you holding the NFTs for? If they're just for collectibles to give them away to your kids, I mean, then that could be it. But I'm looking to make some money here. And so as soon as I saw that spike, I said, no. This is a selling time, not a holding time. So I went and I sold here, and I got it sold at exactly this pricing right here, guys. You guys can see it there. I sold it for 487 wax. Wax is a cryptocurrency, guys. For you guys that don't know what wax is a cryptocurrency, and it's actually traded on Coinbase. So you can look it up on Coinbase. It actually changes in price and value too, guys. So definitely watch this. And the second card came out also, guys. Pujols. Albert Pujols came out, and guess what? I was able to sell this one for 428 wax, $103 return. And guess what, guys? I only paid $5 for these packs. At the end of the day, I bought 3, so I paid $15. I made back over $200 already, and looking to sell another common. The next time I see a craft and I have a common, guess what? I'm going to sell that baby. I'm going to sell that baby and make some profit. So definitely Ruel, yes, it is trading right now at 24 cents. It is a coin. Wax is a crypto coin. I might have to get Ruel to hop on Money Mitch and explain a little bit more about NFTs. But if you haven't seen the Ruel report, definitely check that out, guys. Check that out. Ruel, do me a favor, throw your link up in there. I'll give you a shout out there. But definitely, guys, wax. I'm up on wax. I have about over 800 wax. And if I transitioned that to cash, that would be over $200 on a return of only spending about 15 bucks. And where did I get these, guys? Where did I get these? I know I saw that question mentioned by John. And so where do you get these? You get these on the topsmlb.com, guys. You want to go to the shop area. Right now, the sale has ended, and they ran through 70,000 packs in under 70 minutes. I don't know how Chris and I were so lucky to get these, but I got a couple of them. I even got a rare one. Let me show you my collection right quick here, guys. Let me show you my collection right here, guys. So right here, you guys will see. I'll show you guys what I got right now before we move on here. But definitely, guys, check it out. And one of the things that I want to do with my wax now is I'm going to be looking for the next play. What else can I spend this money on? Can I buy another NFT? Let me go ahead and let me pull up here my inventory. All right, there you guys see in my inventory here, guys. I have a couple of cards here. I even have a nice little rare one here, Sean Manea. So I'll see. Look at this one, guys. Look at this one. This one's not even valuable right now. This one's even this one right now, guys, is only trading at like $26, $30. Maybe someone bought it up here for 300, but really, guys, it's only trading at 26, and that's a rare. So what happened here was a story of a common going and exploding, guys. And this is not, I don't think, what Topps intended when they did their craft, but this is the result. And so one of the things that you can learn from here, guys, is let's pay attention to these NFTs. There's going to be some opportunities, but there can also be some pitfalls. And so pay attention. Let's look for some. And when you get that chance to make a good return, I say, like Money Mitch did, and sell it. Take your profits and run and say, hey, I'll look for the next trade just because I already made my return and I'm not going to get greedy here. So definitely, guys, if you enjoyed that, give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments. Do you guys want to know a little bit more about wax? You guys want me to do in-depth research into wax, or maybe look into what I can buy with these wax? There's other NFTs on Atomic Hub that I could be getting into. And who knows, I might play some Top Shots or whatever I can get into. So that's the fun part of this, is now that I made this return, I'm going to go ahead and reinvest it into another NFT and look to make another 1,500%. I won't be mad. And like, I'm sure you guys won't be. All right, guys, when we return from the break here, we're going to be going into some story stocks of the day. I know I missed some of the story stocks yesterday, so I want to get into some of those plays. And we're going to also talk some cannabis and talk about why investors should be high on some of these stocks. All right. And we're back, guys. We're going to be talking first some cannabis, and then I'm going to be going into some other plays here. But of course, guys, if you like cannabis or you just are a user, let me know in the chat. Let me know, because I got to see the social trends, guys. Got to see the social trends. And you guys know where I'm from Colorado, so I'm not going to be too upset about talking about KERN here first up, which is actually out of Denver in Colorado. So if you guys don't know about KERN, definitely take a look here, guys. I think it's one of my favorite stocks here in the cannabis industry. And one of the things that we really need to look at is, what are these stocks that the investors should be high on, and when does it come in cannabis? I always have talked about that there's waves to the game. And one of the things that we've seen is kind of this new renewed wave of growth. And as we know, in kind of the 2018 cannabis stock time, it was always about how much can you produce, what can you produce, how much plants can you put up. And now it's really, the focus has shifted over into not as much as you could produce. It's not a mass produce race. It's a profitability focus now. And that seemed to take over in early 2020. So if you guys like it, give me a thumbs up. You guys already know, is that my real noggin or an anime? I have no idea what Tim is talking about in the chat. No interest in cannabis. What about the cannabis stocks that can get you a return, my friend? So let's go ahead and pay attention here. So now there's tons of different players in this industry. One of my favorites is KERN, and that's KERN Corp. KERN consolidates cannabis technology company to connect data points in global cannabis supply chain. And so they're kind of the thing behind the thing. And, we always say that at Benzinga. And so when a business needs data, that's what you're going to look for. You're going to look at KERN. So KERN Corp has MJ Platform, the leading provider of the cannabis compliance software for the marijuana industry. And if you look they put out stats like this. They just put out a report, guys, recently, a 420 report. You guys know we just had 420. So if you look, they put out numbers year over year, April 20th to 2020 compared to April 2019. You saw an increase of 23%, an average ticket size of $118. The top categories concentrates increased 62%, which accounts for 13% of the total product sales. Flower increased 48%. Infused edibles decreased 56%. Cartridges and pen decreased 15%. That's interesting. We're starting to see a downtrend in cartridges and pen decrease. Could this have been from all the talks about vape kind of being and affecting you? I know there was a long talk about Juuls and kind of that battle that you saw there with the Juuls company, but that was tobacco. And one of the things that I definitely saw there is that everyone was trying to put all these vapes into one basket. And I'm not so sure about that, but infused edibles decreased 56%. I didn't expect that one. One of the things that I do expect is I expect kind of seeing edibles continue to take off, as it's usually kind of the first thing that a new user will try versus going straight to, let's say, a flower. All right, so it looks like I'm getting some people love. Mitch Kramer, you think APH will go over 20? No. I don't think that. I don't like that one. Don't like it. There's a couple of ones that I do like, but that's not one of my favorites. Just like ACB is not one of my favorites either. But you might be able to look at TLRY, and there's a reason why, guys. So if you look into it, one of the things that you'll see is that shares of cannabis companies like TLRY and Canopy Growth, CGC, that I have right here, are trading higher today because Bank of America reinstated a buy rating, guys. A buy. You guys already know they hit it up. They hit it up with TLRY, a stock price target of $23, and then Canopy Growth received a $36 price target. So, hey, they're definitely looking at the cannabis. And one of the things that I'd mention is I do not want to leave out the honorable mention here, Planet 13. This is the smaller one that most people don't know about and traded on the OTC market. And let me tell you a little bit about what I think about Planet 13. So the thing about Planet 13, and I'd say this, in a nice way, is that they're the Apple of cannabis. And how are they the Apple of cannabis? I'll show you a little bit about them, guys. And so if we look at this is their store right outside Las Vegas. They had this huge ball, this huge water fountain when you're coming in. You're walking in and you're looking like you're going to the Mall of Americas. And then next thing you know, you get inside and you're meted by what? Does this look like Apple to you? I think this looks like Apple. I don't know what I can see here, but let me go ahead and get my shared screen right there. Looks like I got the wrong shared screen. That's why I can't put it up there. There we go. All right, guys. So look at this, guys. You guys let me know. Put a 1 in the chat if you think this looks like Apple, guys. Definitely take a look. One of the things that I'd mention is I've been in this store. I've actually been in this Planet 13 store. And when you walk around, you got lights everywhere. You got salesmen everywhere. And it's like Apple. When you walk in, they're just trying to engage you. A lot of the times you can get sales by just engaging a customer. And so you see a lot of these active, nice personality people coming up. Hey, how can I help you? Let me walk you through. Let me show you this. Let me show you this. Let me show you this. And really, I mean, that's how they're making their move. And this is not all they have, guys. They actually have such a big facility that they're renting out to restaurants and other properties right in the same facility, so that it's kind of like a little shopping center. You can get some food, you can pick up your cannabis, and you can head on home. I don't know about you guys, but I definitely think that this looks like an advanced dispensary and not your average mom and pops kind of place. So that's Planet 13, guys. Definitely check them out. And I think, definitely the Apple of cannabis. You can't really say anything bad about that. All right, guys, let's keep going through. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about today is I did miss out yesterday, guys, on talking about some story stocks. Let me see my timing. I only got, it's already 7:00, man. Next show coming up, Money Mitch. You guys want me to come into the 2 stocks really quickly? I need to see some likes in the chat. Can we get to 100? I'll keep the next show going and push them back for a couple seconds here. As we wrap up, because Ryan went a little bit later. I see 55 minutes. I still should have about 5 or 3 minutes. Let's get through this. Let's talk about some stocks here and talk about some stories here. All right, so let me keep going through here. Next stop. All right, guys, so programmatic advertisement. I'm going to run through it right quickly so that we can get through it here, guys. So programmatic advertisement, WTF. Yes, I said it, guys. WTF. What is programmatic advertisement? Programmatic advertisement is what you're seeing the change, the cutting of the cord, the targeting of customers directly to the target ad, as you saw mentioned by Facebook, as you saw mentioned by Google, as you're seeing right now, some of the stocks that I like, MGNI. MGNI is one of the major ones that I like. And another one that I like here is PUBM. PUBM, that's a recent IPO. Guys, definitely check out those 2 stocks. And an honorable mention also in this one would be DMS. And that's actually a de-SPAC stock. So definitely check that out, guys. PubMatic is one of my favorites, definitely. And yeah, you got it, Solar. Digital Media Solutions, DMS. That was one of my honorable mentions. And let's get to the last story stocks here. Last story stocks, guys. If you guys caught me on pre-market prep, I talked about the story that is VZIO versus ROKU, and now you're seeing VZIO break out. Look at that chart, VZIO, guys. Check that chart out, and you guys tell me what you think if my story stock is off there. And one of the things that I'd compare it to is I compare it to FUBO, and all 3 of these companies I think are kicking ass because one of the things they're focusing on is different ways to develop their platforms to actually bring more and more to their customers. So let's say FUBO. FUBO's working on a lot of sports betting initiatives. ROKU has ROKU TV and really kicking ass with it and bringing some new content and exclusive content to ROKU. And then, of course, VZIO. VZIO is a really known platform also trying to do the same kind of copycat strategy that you're seeing from ROKU. I think that's exactly what you're seeing. And one of the things is these streaming plays are definitely going to be looking at more sports betting examples. As you guys have recently seen ROKU and VZIO making moves in there, I think you'll also see the move start going from FUBO. ROKU does not suck. I will put it out right now, guys. You guys let me know. I'll put out a price target on ROKU up to 500 for the end of the year. I think ROKU is definitely going to kick ass. One of the things that I would say is that ROKU is in 34% of homes, guys. 34%. They own the market, and that's what VZIO is trying to get up to 14% of the market. So they don't really have that high of a market. But one of the things that VZIO has over ROKU is that their little device that plays the streaming system, ROKU's is unprofitable, but VZIO's is definitely profitable. And that's the differences right there between those 2 companies. And if you guys don't know, I was the original FUBO call out. I know a lot of people try to call it out and say that it was that guy, Zach Morris. I'm pretty sure Zach Morris was looking at my Twitter because I was talking about FUBO when it was at $10, guys, before it made that $60 rip. So stick with me, Money Mitch. You guys already know I'm going to bring you guys all the story stocks that you guys need to do your research and find the next trade. And like always, guys, there's a bull market and it's here to stay, guys. And if you guys are looking for opportunities out there, I'm Money Mitch, and I'm here to help you guys find it. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of the show, what you guys want to see more and less of. And if I can bring on a big CEO that you guys would want to see, let me know in the comments. I'll be back, guys, and stay tuned on Friday. We're going to have a little bit of a happy hour. I might have a little cup going. Let's have some people on. If you guys want to join me on Friday, definitely hit me up in the comments below. Put your emails there. I'll email out to you guys, and we'll bring you on the stream. So we're going to have some fun on Friday, so stick with me, guys. Money Making Mitch here. I'll see you guys next time, and we'll see you tomorrow, guys. Like always, Money Mitch.